Welcome back, team. How's it going? I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope you have a smile on your face. I hope that wherever you are, you feel good. And if that's the case, you know what to do. Pass that on and help someone else feel just as good as you are today in 2021. In this video, I am finally fixing all the dead pixels in my cluster by upgrading to an M5 cluster. Ooh, let's do it. The company that's going to be tackling this job for me is called Fixels. Now, they don't have a website, but I'm going to link their Facebook page down below. So go check them out if you have an E39, E38, or E46 that has problems with dead pixels on your cluster. Now, this cluster is really bad. If you guys haven't seen it before, here's what it actually looks like. I just did it on mine, so you can see that it went all the way up to 5 green squares. I think I had 3 green squares on there before. And that is how you reset the oil light or the service light. Now, instead of fixing the pixels like any sensible person would, I'm going to be upgrading to an E39 M5 cluster. Now, this is really exciting because it also gives me the added bonus of having the engine temperature lights on the RPM gauge. That tells me how hot or cold the engine is upon startup. In order for the people at Fixels to conjure up this dark magic, they're going to need some things from me. They'll need the DME from this car and the EWS, which is housed underneath the steering wheel. That's, of course, your immobilizer. Now, before we get to any of that, I'm gonna have to cut the power. But let me move out the steering wheel so that I have the most room when it comes time to remove the cluster. I wanted to do the cluster change on my old E38, but you know, that never happened because, well, some lady decided to run a red light. Make for a very bad day for me, so I'm really excited. This is gonna be really cool. So that's disconnected. Now let's just go to the front of the car and get the DME out. Now I gotta remove the EWS, or the immobilizer. Now, EWS stands for something in German that I can't pronounce. But if you want to wow your friends at a cocktail party, just call it the drive-away protection system. The DME and the EWS are off to Fixels on the East Coast, and I'm going to hold off on removing my cluster until I get the brand new M5 cluster in the mail. So until then, grab yourself a drink and let's skip forward a few days with the magic of editing. Did you get a drink? Salud. Instead of a couple of days, of course it took a couple of weeks. With COVID, everything is getting super delayed right now. Hey, it's not on the company and patience is a virtue. But I got the box yesterday and, well, I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to do that here with you. Now, before I get to the box, Fixels did send me a message saying that I need to run what's called a throttle body adaptation reset. Now, I haven't done this before on my car, but I've done it on other cars. Last time I took the throttle body off of the 740, I didn't have to do an adaptation since it was the same part. Usually you have to do this when you're installing a brand new part that didn't come with that car. And if you haven't checked out that video, I'll link it up here. But enough talk, let's get to the box. All right, nicely wrapped. Here's the DME. The EWS. And here it is, the E39 M5 cluster. Of course, the E39 M5 being the car that's considered the standard of the sporty sedan. Let's go install it and see what it looks like. I have the computer and the immobilizer installed back into the car, and now it's time to remove the cluster so I can install the M5 replacement. You know, interior work is not the most difficult thing out there, but it's definitely taxing. It's taxing because it requires a lot of patience from you. Now, I'm a regular sized human being, and I get all kinds of scratched up when I do this. So for all of you big dudes out there doing interior work, respect. Cluster's in, battery is connected again, and before I start the car, all I have to do is the throttle body adaptation reset procedure. So I'm gonna do that in real time with you guys. All right, so we have the key. I haven't done anything or touched anything. It doesn't say anything about the doors being closed. Some of these procedures you have to have the doors closed, but I assume it's fine either way. Okay, 1, please make sure the ignition is turned off. 2, press the gas pedal to full throttle while the ignition is off. Okay. 3, turn on the ignition to the 3rd position for 30 seconds. Do not crank the vehicle and do not let go of the throttle. 3rd position. Oh. Okay. 30 seconds. That's gonna be about 30 seconds right there. Number 4, after 30 seconds are over, turn the ignition off and remove the key. Do not let go of the throttle. After key is removed, let go of the throttle and wait 30 seconds. This is all very, very thrilling and gut-wrenching. And number 6, after 30 seconds, the car can now be started normally. How you doing? There we go, 30 seconds. So, Let's start the car for the first time.
Yeah, I'm all in. Brody on the line, I'm tapping in. God out here pulling the strings for me. A girl on the line, she feeling me. Preoccupied by the motivation. Put in the time, pay the entry fee. Bro on the rise, yeah, he kinda nice. Inside of my mind, no one's real as me. Lately, life has been gorgeous. Wake up to clear, my eyes hit record. Praise up to God.
That looks fire. Everything seems to be working as is. I have my low fuel light on. I tested my blinkers. I tested the high beams, the fog lights, all the little lights on here work. The temperature gauge is going up as it should. And most importantly, I can see everything on this cluster now. It is amazing. Man, I've missed that so much. And the orange on there is really cool. Usually is that red lighting that all the BMWs have, but I chose not to and instead remained with the stock lighting on the BMW M5. And you know what? It's a little bit different and I like it. It's something refreshing. It works for me. I'm not a purist. I don't know how many more of these lights are gonna go down since I seem to be at operating temperature, and the RPM goes to 8,000 on this car, whereas it was less on the original cluster. So we'll see. I still have to figure out how that works and just get used to how it's going to be for daily driving. But other than that, it looks super crisp and I'm really happy of the end result here. Thank you so much for staying till the very end of the video. I gotta go drive this thing, but if you liked it, please leave a comment down below, give it a like, consider subscribing. As always, I will see you on the next video.
I'm not afraid of the casket. I'm on the run. I'm chasing the thrills. I'm hungry. I'm starving. I lust for the meal. Lately,